Hey there, Seb Frey the Realtor here. I just watched a couple of very interesting episodes of Buying Beverly Hills. Usually these real estate reality TV shows are a bunch of garbage, but actually there are a few lessons that are definitely worth talking about in these two episodes of Buying Beverly Hills. If you want to find out what I find so interesting in these two episodes, then you definitely want to watch this video. Alright, well, I've been sick now for going on 3 weeks. I'm feeling much better, but I have been spending a lot of time in bed watching TV, watching these streaming shows, and as it happens, the latest season of Buying Beverly Hills dropped on Netflix, and so I did, in fact, binge the whole thing over a couple of days, basically. And, I've been a long-time fan of reality TV when it comes to real estate, like $1 Million Listing, Selling Sunset, all the HGTV shows. If it is a reality TV show and it's about real estate, I'm going to try and watch it. I don't know why, because, honestly, most of this stuff that they show on these reality TV shows are not real at all. They're totally fake. And certainly this latest season of Buying Beverly Hills was full of all kinds of fakery that has nothing really to do whatsoever with selling real estate, except for what we saw in episodes 2 and 3. Episodes 2 and 3 did in fact have some pretty teachable moments, I think, when it comes to the real estate business. And I wanted to share them with you because maybe you have seen, these episodes. Maybe you will want to watch them now. I don't know, but they were noteworthy. And so without further ado, let's watch this first part of episode 2 of season 2 of Buying Beverly Hills.
In a normal market, this would be an easy sale. But right now, Paul is wanting to sell a $20 million house in a market where there's no urgency. I gotta get creative to create urgency. When there's urgency, buyers show up.
So Mauricio, the star of Buying Beverly Hills, and he's married to Kyle, whatever her name is, on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Although I guess they're getting divorced now, and that's been a recurring theme in this season. But he has this $20 million listing, which I guess he's tried to sell before, and the guy who owns it really wants to get it sold now. He's very serious about getting it sold now. And so Mauricio has a great idea to auction the property off. They're going to auction the property. And in that clip right there, he said something very interesting. He wants to create buyer urgency, which I get it, right? The market is saturated in LA, apparently, with $20 million listings. It's hard to sell one. There's the mansion tax, right? Interest rates are higher. So he wants to create a sense of urgency by having a no reserve auction. There's no reserve on this bad boy. Whoever the top bid gets it regardless of what that top bid is. And so he's creating urgency by saying must be sold at an auction. And so auctions by themselves are not actually that great at creating urgency. You want to know what creates the urgency about the auction? It's the low price, right? If you want to create urgency, you really need to create a demand for the property, and the way you create that demand for the property is by setting a low price, and that's what an auction does. I don't know what their starting price was at an auction. He mentioned that you could theoretically buy it for $200,000, so maybe it was a $0 starting bid. I really don't know. They don't mention it. But nevertheless, that is a very key point of real estate sales, is creating urgency. When buyers feel that there is no urgency, that they can wait until next week or next month or whatever to come and see your house for sale, many times they will often do just that. But you can create that sense of urgency by having a low price on your home, and that will get buyers in the door ASAP, and that is what the auction did in this case, in this episode of Buying Beverly Hills.
Let's just pretend the gavel closes at $20 million. On top of that, the buyer pays a 12% premium to the auction house.
One of the interesting things about an auction is that they have this thing called a buyer's premium. And the buyer's premium is an amount of money that the buyer pays on top of the winning auction bid. And in this case, man, that premium is pretty steep. It's 12%. right? So if you pay $20 million, what's 12% of $20 million? That's $2.4 million on top of the winning bid. Now, there's a lot of brouhaha these days about realtor commissions, but here we are seeing the buyer paying an additional 12% over list price for the privilege of buying the home, right? So that to me is very interesting because there's lots of talk out there about how like, oh, buyers are not going to want to pay a commission, and they won't pay a commission in many cases because they won't have the money to pay a commission. But obviously, if you're buying a $20-ish million home, probably you have enough cash sitting around where you can actually pay the buyer's premium, which is that commission, because it all gets factored into the price, right? The commission that you're paying when you sell a normal route, on a multiple listing service, hiring a realtor the traditional way, as it's been done for many, many years, that commission is baked into the price and you just calculate it on your net. Well, the reverse is true in this case. When the buyer is buying that property, the buyer is baking in that buyer's premium into their offer price because they know that they will have to pay that at closing. But it's the same thing, right? It is, in fact, the same thing. The buyer and the seller are both calculating how much they are going to net based on the sale transaction fee, which in that case is a buyer premium, not a commission. But I think that is something very interesting to think about when you are figuring who is going to be paying the commission for the buyer's agent. Will it be the buyer or will it be the seller? Sellers need to understand that buyers are already calculating that in when they make your offer. So it's not going to be like you're going to get more because the buyer is paying the premium or the commission. You're going to get less because the buyer is going to offer less because they know they have to pay that somehow. One of the interesting things about this episode is that they actually received 2 offers on the property before it went to auction. Check this out.
We actually have 2 offers that are trying to buy it before we go to auction. One of them, I believe, is at 21, and one of them's at like 21 and a half, and we're trying to vibe them and get them done. From
By the way,
perspective.
you take the 21.
I agree.
I agree.
Very interesting. They got 2 offers, one at $21 million and one at $21.5 million. Now there's price and there's terms, so we don't really know what terms they had with the auction. It is a buy it now, you buy it, there's no inspections, there's nothing, you close escrow on it, I guess, more or less right away. And so with a traditional offer, there would be terms. Maybe they want an inspection, maybe they're getting a loan, I don't really know. But it was very interesting. They did get these 2 offers, and they could have taken either one of those 2 offers. They could have had those offers competing against each other, and they probably were. But at the end of the day, the seller decided to proceed with the auction anyway, even though he had these 2 really great offers in hand. This also goes to underscore one of the axioms that we have in real estate, which is that your first offer is usually your best offer. Not always, but usually. And in this case, they had not 1, but 2 first offers that were $21 and $21.5 million. And the seller chose to ignore them, take a pass on them, and go to auction. Let's see what happens.
The house ended up selling for $18.4 million during the auction. To me, that 21 number is what it was worth.
Damn.
He'll be happy about that. It was causing him stress, and he needed to sell it, and he'll just be happy to be done with it.
There you go. Sold for $18.4 million, and Mauricio is obviously a little bummed out there because his client could have gotten an extra $3 million or $2.6 million. It's unclear. He said that it should have sold for that $21 million. And that is the other interesting lesson here, is that people think that when you have an auction, you are going to be getting the best price for your property, but that is not always the case. That is why I think that so few people actually do end up selling at auctions, because when you go to auction, you take out the magical ability to really negotiate the deal, even slow it down a little bit, and just talk to the various potential buyers for your property, and you will have numerous potential buyers for your property if you have the price set where it is creating that sense of urgency. Now, you don't need to go into an auction where you may end up getting less than you could if you had skillfully and artfully negotiated the sale, pitting the buyers against each other, slowing it down, speeding it up, pushing and pulling, and drawing forth from the market the very best price that the market has to bear, which not necessarily is going to be the result when you auction the property off. So I thought that was a very interesting lesson, and the owner of that property in LA, he learned a very painful lesson as well. All right, well, that is all I have for this episode. I really hope you did enjoy watching it and that you enjoyed watching it. And go ahead, check out that season of Buying Beverly Hills. Well, most of it obviously is fluff and cruft. They did, in fact, show a lot of drinking and partying and people behaving shamelessly, of course, obviously, right? It's reality TV. You have to have that. But they did show a lot of beautiful homes of the rich and shameless. So if you like beautiful homes, definitely you want to watch that episode. Kind of fun. All right, well, that is all I have for this. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you have enjoyed watching it, I'm guessing, just a guess, that you might also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do check those out. All right, thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And please, stay tuned.